Are you learning German language and your books is like this one? For example, this is a sample that every students is struggling with actually. The text around the notes or text around the books, a lot of the explanation, trying to understand the grammar, and also write some small notes between the texts. So it's very hard to learn German language, and as you can see, the book is not clean like this one. Maybe if you want to review this book, or you want to, for example, again read the text, it's very hard because you can always see the meanings and not a clean text, right? So there is actually a solution for this problem, and the solution actually is a software that is KorrektWort. And how is it working? For example, as a student, I faced with the new words in my actually the book, and then I can, for example, translate the new word with the correct word. I would show you how and why the correct word is the solution, right? So, for example, I'm reading the text and I see one sentence here. I would copy that, and then coming to the application, I would add it as a new word. For example, this is the new word I have. So I'm coming here, I'm pasting the word, and then adding in my personal dictionary, I can say. So what would be happen? The AI behind the software would see the word, add it for you, and then, for example, in this case, in the Persian language, would explain it and also tell you this word is in which level. For example, here is the B1. So I'm opening the detail page for this, I can say the word, and then I can see, for example, the meaning in the German language, in Persian language, in this case, as the student selected the Persian language as the main language, also see the English language, the meanings of the word. Then AI also has a tip to tell you how to remember these words. Yeah, so you can also read this and then try to remember with this actually tip that AI is as a coach helping us to learn. Also, as a grammar, we can see, for example, is this word in, I don't know, regular words? Is it separatable or not? How is the perfect shape or perfect way or grammar of this word? You can also see the samples. For example, here we can see I don't know, three sample which created with this word. Many other actually features. For example, here you can add the notes, so you don't need to write the words or explanation in the book. You can add everything you want here. You can also ask AI to, for example, more information about this. So you are not just translating one word, you are working on it. You see the samples, you see the grammar, you see, if you want, you can see what other words are related to this one. You can add your notes. You can, for example, also see how to remember it, yeah. And not this is the all of the features. You can also do the review, and this is the, like I can say, flashcards. So you can select, for example, for this case, we can see there is some words added to the software for the, for example, B1, C2, or I don't know, R1, R1. So I can select one category, or I can select all and then go to the review. For example, I'm selecting the B1 now. I'm going to review. I'm seeing the word. I can hear it, and then I can check. As I said, this is now selected as a Persian language, but you can check other languages. I would show you how to do that. So I can see I know this word or not, then I can point it like it's hard, it's good, I know it, I don't know it. and then go to the next one. So let me show you how to do it. You can come to the account, and in the account you can change the language to other languages. So if you know or you natively talking in another language like Arabic, like Turkey or English, then you can select your languages there. I'm coming back to the home, and then I can see my progress, for example, for today. And as you can see, there is a mission actually, and it is very cool. So what is that? You added some words in the software. As you read the books, you understanding, for example, you started to read these texts, and you would see, for example, some words here. I don't know, for example, this one now. So I'm clicking, I'm adding the words here. So let me do it. So now I don't need to write in the book. I see here, and I see a lot of information about this. Yeah. Then I can also create stories, or I can chat. Yeah. So when I'm going to the chat, for example, I'm in the restaurant, I'm on the telephone or anything, and then here the software would talk with me with the words I already added in the application. And the beauty of this feature is that you see the words in the context and how the sentences are created or creating, I can say, with that word. So you know exactly the word you would face with that again and again in different contexts, not only in this context. You can see also here in the chat, in the telephone, in doctor situation, anything. And also it's really nice that you can see the translation. You can see in English, in Persian, or any language that you would choose. Or also you can also talk, you can say something, and then AI would give you feedback, not only answering or telling you what something, it's also answering by feedback. So if I'm writing something wrong, AI here, the software actually here, would correct me. Let me do it. For example, I would say instead of hello, hello. Hello. Ish, and now I'm not writing the O umlaut, I'm writing the O. Ich möchte, I don't know, ein Termin. Let's see what would be happen now. So I'm writing something wrong, actually, not correct. AI is understanding exactly what I mean here. It's telling me the meanings and also telling me the feedback of what I wrote here. Yeah. So I understand exactly what was the wrong. For example, here the möchte. And also I can say, for example, it says ich möchte, for example, something means I would like something. It's in the Persian language, for example. And also I wrote here ein Termin, and here I see it's, for example, should be accusative and einen. So in the next time when I'm on the telephone or I'm talking behind the telephone with someone else, I definitely know I should say einen Termin. So it's very cool. I can continue talking with the AI here in the chat, or I can also save my conversation. Then next time I can come back, I can see the chat and I can continue or something, right? So I'm not doing that like right now. One other features that I really love it is actually articles. So I can, for example, see one word that I already added in from the book here, and then I can, for example, imagine or trying to understand what was the article for this, right? And for example, yeah, I would say, for example, das, and oh no, it's there. So next time I would remember it. Yeah, it's like a flashcard, but for articles in the German language. I'm trying. Okay, again, not correct. So again, yeah, this time is correct. Yeah. So you can do it, and every time it would be review, and you can also not only review the meanings, also the articles. So you can imagine in the book, you just reading the text or or you can just adding a massive extra notes here and make the book, I can say, unreadable. Yeah, but here everything is completely organized. Another very nice feature is actually the story generation. I add a lot of, for example, words from the book in the application, and now here I can do something very interesting. I'm clicking on generate a story, then this character calls Corey, and Corey is writing me a story with the words I already added, right? And I can see now the story is created with the context that I want, for example. So let's see what would be happen now. Corey is writing. Interesting. Okay, so I can see now the story here. I can see the words I already added, and exactly as you can see, the AI or Corey is using my text, my context, my text to create a context actually. So I'm clicking on one of them. I can see again what was the meaning. I can see even in the English language, in the Persian language, in any language that you want. You can, for example, yeah, these blues one is the words, these blue ones are the words you added before, but maybe you don't know this one, what does it mean? You can also add it here, right? You can click on add and it comes to your word list. Then you can not even I can say not only I can say the review the meanings of the word, also you can see in the stories. So you can also see here the words that used to create, and these are the words I added before. And also I can see the translation of the story in, I can say, 2 language, not only in 1. And I can also see other stories that I created before. So my recommendation is when you added, for example, 5 or 10 new words, always come here and create a new story. Then it would use them, the query would use those new words for your story, and you can see always in the context. Yeah, so let me come back and I would come to explain, which is amazing. Yeah. So what is explain? For example, I'm coming in the text, for example, here, and I see something like this. Yeah. So normally, maybe I don't know the grammar. I don't know which one is true, or not only this, I see this sentence, for example, and I want to, for example, know the meaning, the structure of the sentence, and so I'm copying, for example, this one for now. So if I can, yes, I can. So I can see here there is a sentence, actually 2 sentences, and then I want to ask this software to tell me the meaning, structure, grammar, and so on. So let's see what would be happen. So it's like I don't understand this sentence, even I know the meanings of the words, but I don't understand it. So what would be happen now? When you paste any texts, even it can be the text with blank words or wrong text, the AI or the software would try to understand exactly what do you mean, and then try to tell you exactly the meanings of the words that you already know. For example, this green one is a word we already added, and also it would, let's see, it would break the sentence in 1, 2, 2. Yeah, here is 2 in 2 structure explanation, for example, I can say. And here I can see, for example, what the sentence means, what is the structure of the sentence, and also explaining the grammar here. Why it's like this, and why the Ordnung, for example, is coming the end of the sentence, and so. Also here we can see the meanings of the other part of the sentence, again the structure, again what does it means, and the grammar, and so I can save the explanation, And the beauty also here is you can chat and say your questions. Yeah, you can ask your question. For example, you see the explanation here. You can see the structure of the sentence, but you don't understand exactly what is, for example, here accusative, or what is, for example, here dative, or any other questions. Let me see. I will say, what is the dative part here? So let's see. Maybe it's maybe I have really actually a question. For example, here I see the escaped, and then I want to know escaped is dative, is accusative, why is not, is are. Yeah? So the AI would explain in the student's language exactly is this the dative or not. For example, here is say in this sentence exactly dative is not used. It says not exactly used that, or somehow it's not used, but says about the for here, which is the accusative and not dative, and the for is exactly what, and so. So the students can actually talk with the AI, And not only this, I paste this sentence here, and I can, for example, now without any problem, see which words are new. For example, this one are new, but this one already added. So now I can, for example, add them to my words list. I don't know, maybe, for example, this one, equal, no matter. So I'm adding that to my words list, right? Then let's do it. I can add any other also the sentence or words. Then in the review here, I can see the words is here, and again I can analyze it. For example, I can see what is the grammar. Okay, it's just one word in the outside, out2, but I can see example. For example, how we can use equal here, right? And any other things I can also add note. For example, I can paste this sentence here as a sample from myself. So that's actually a lot I explained here. You have a lot of more features. You can do a lot of things with the software. I hope you are going to check it. It's very easy to work with this software, and I can tell you this is also a web application. You can just search KorrektWort in the Google. Let's come to Google, for example, like this. You can come to the Google, search it, and then you would find the first link actually. Maybe not this one, actually the KorrektWort is the main software, and then you can click on this one, for example. Or you can come back. I can tell you, for example, here the second one is exactly the KorrektWort link. And also here is the link, so also you can find videos. Interesting. So just go and try to use it, and I believe you would enjoy it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.